Right. I'm sort of here. Kind of. The noise gate on my... Oh, it's what that is whirring away, isn't it? Can you hear? I might need to noise gate this better. 1 second. Uh 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 Test. Test. That should be pretty good. You're boring, Simon Ramone, if that is your real name, and it's probably not. Yeah, get wrecked. Get wrecked, son. Can hear my emails coming in. This isn't supposed to be the entertaining part. Actually, none of it's supposed to be the entertaining part. It's going to be me whining for about an hour and a half before I decide I'm too tired and want to go have a nap. That is what this stream's going to be. And if you don't want to watch that, well, go and watch someone else. Hi. I am streaming. BoredGamer. I don't even know what that means. Beautiful Bjord. Is that a... I'm streaming. Come say hi and ask me questions. Or talk about Star Citizen stuff. Not BotGamer. Not BotGamer. What is this? Does that even work? No, it doesn't even work. Sorry, you get... Oh, man, it's... There we go. Right. I think we're relatively ready to start. What were all those emails about? 1 second, let's go check them out first. Typically, if it pings me with an email with a ping like that, it's important. Oh, it's refunds. It's refunds from PayPal. Some load of euros going back to... Oh, my God. Oh. Right, you are going to get... You're going to get some stories today, kids. So gather round. No, that's all good. That's all good. Chat. Bam. Hi. Oh, you're not first, DC. Don't even pretend you're first here. Why are you here? I did so get off streaming. So, DC is Deathcore. It's in chat. Not sure which chat he's in. He's moderator. He's the partner of Zin. When people say, Zin, BoredGamer girlfriend? No. Zin, girlfriend of Deathcore, who's one of my best mates in the world as well. I suppose, to the misfortune of Zin and DC. So we're doing some, we're looking at some, I would say, more ethical ways of doing cryptocurrency stuff, which I will be talking about in the future. We'll talk about that as and when, if we find it actually viable to do, because Nvidia have announced some new cards, and I don't think that Nvidia, in my opinion, have been particularly good about their new cards. They've gone, oh, we're going to make a new range, and we're going to nerf the 3060s that we're about to release so that crypto miners can't take them. That's okay. Well, you haven't. Not in the way that you could sort of implied you have. And that just makes the cards sort of... might help in the short term. I don't know for sure. So I want graphics cards in the hands of me and gamers to be able to use the graphics cards. I'm still waiting on my 3080 that I ordered in October or something. And I fucking hate scalpers. Oh, so today I'm really grumpy. And you're going to have to deal with me being grumpy. And I'm very sorry if you're normally like chill BoredGamer, but that is very detached from what's happening today. I've hurt my wrist. It is not from a furious self-pleasuring instant or anything like that. I don't know how I did it. It started hurting last night, and I went, oh, that hurts. I'll rest my hand. It now feels like the fires of hell are in my arm anytime I move my index or my middle finger. Every time I've gone to people, it hurts when I do this. I've immediately regretted it. So, yeah. And throughout the earlier portions of the day, I got up early to be productive, okay? Everything is going wrong. Okay, everything. And it's very first world wrong. Okay, so it's a nice thing to complain about. I've ordered some hardware for Zin, for me, for DC, and I've been on the phone to a load of people that just, they've got stock on the websites, and then they have to phone me up and go, oh, don't we have stock on our websites? So I started phoning up companies that I've ordered some of this stuff from, and they've gone, oh, we don't have any stock of that. So, where's my order? Oh, we've got you in a pre-order queue. What? You're still showing stock on your website. You've taken my money. I've paid for next day delivery. How are you going to provide that next day? Oh, we're not. And it's pretty much the same story with 4 different companies. One company phoned me up to credit check me afterwards. I was like, I don't want you to give me credit. I want you to use my card, which I've given you the details for, which you've already taken the money for. Why are you credit checking my order? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, because you've put a business name in here. I haven't registered as a business. I just put my business name in there so I know who it comes to on your website. So, that really hurt my hand. Oh, so yeah, I'm pretty grumpy. If you'd like to ask a Star Citizen or BoredGamer-esque question in brackets, I will attempt to pull it out from the chat. I'm typically a while behind in chat. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing okay. It looks like we might start to get some restrictions lifted for the lockdown in the UK, which I think is sorely needed. I need, almost as a medical procedure, to go to the pub and see some people that are my friends and have a couple of drinks. I don't even want to get drunk. I don't even want to drink too much. I don't want to even have more than a couple. I need to get out of the house. I went to the post office earlier and I had to carry a parcel in my hands that had come to me rather than DC. And I was like, yeah. Got bag, got parcel. And that was lovely. I loved it. I didn't care that I was in pain. I was out of the house. I was like, this is for work. I'm allowed to be out of the house. Oh, it's got to me. It's got to me today. I'm sorry that it's got to me. I wish I had something to play in Star Citizen. I do. I do have something to play in Star Citizen. Star Citizen is fun at the moment. 3.12.1 is actually one of the best builds we've had for stability and playability and accessibility. Yes, there are problems with purchasing for cargo, which is really annoying. Because if that was fixed, it would actually be I'd actually love it. It's just a shame we don't have XENOTHREAT. And I want to keep on saying this, and I'm sorry if people keep on going, oh, He's talking about how short XENOTHREAT was again. Yes, I am. Okay. I'm throwing my aubergines out of the pram, citizens and shenanigans. That's true. I'm not. That's what it looks like. You've done some sort of weird symbols together, but it looks like I'm throwing aubergines away. I'm not a fan of aubergine. Oh. Why do you keep on emailing me? I don't want emails. Sorry, I'm the least professional person in the world. Well, that's probably not true. The order has been shipped to you on UPN pallets. Thanks. Appreciate it. Cool. So we're getting some new hardware in Zin. I'm trying to order some graphics cards for me and Zin to actually use. I'm waiting on my 3080, but we're probably going to grab 3090s instead, which is what people have been donating to. You don't need to donate to that. I'm going to pay for it. Any money that comes through through donations or through the stream or whatever at any point, that's what it's going to. I like that. Do people like that for donation? Like, it's okay. So when you go to other streamers, if anyone does watch other streamers, and I fucking hope you do, because if you're just stuck with me, I'm so sorry. They get, obviously, all streamers will get donations and stuff. Do you like to know what that money is going to on screen, like that? Or is that being on screen saying that I need people to help with that? I don't want people to think he can't get that at all, or he needs our help to do that. Oh God, he needs that so bad. Or, like, I don't want it to be a call to action. I want it to be a, you know where it's going. Does that make sense? And is that... I'm such a boomer. Shut up, DC. You can't say that. That's probably hate speech now. Get out of here. Oh. I can't type properly. That's the other thing that annoys me. And at one point, I was talking to DC on Mumble while... with the chat program open, writing an email on 2 different phone calls. I'm not joking. I had 2 phones out. I had my home phone, and then I got a call on my mobile from the other SIM. I was, yeah! Oh. I'm having a meltdown today. I'm having a meltdown. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. So yeah, Star Citizen stuff. I'm really looking forward to 3.13 now. That is true. That is a thing. And we're hoping that 3.13 is coming at the end of March. And we should, within the next within the next 3 weeks, I'd say, have Evocati/PTU build. So I'd actually expect it to go to first wave within the next 3 weeks. Maybe 4 if there's a load of problems with it. So we can't know the issues. I'll have more of an indication once I have played Evocati of how many bugs and stuff there are. Obviously, I can't share the details of Evocati builds. That's not something we can do. We are NDA'd and disclosure agreemented. But I can say once that it's in Evocati, I can say, unless I say otherwise, you can say that it's in Evocati phase. And then at least I can show more or less confidence in when I think dates are going to be for the next phases. Ship names needed for data running? I wouldn't say they're needed, but it would be good to have. The more UI information, the better. And ship names and general ship customization are good and important. Also, ship names added to the UI also leads me to believe that we'll probably be getting organization as part of ship scanning and targeting in the future as well, in the near future, which is something that we sorely need, right? Dave DXC, thank you so much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Just me ranting for the first 15 minutes, and I appreciate that. Thank you. What else have we got? What have we got here? Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. Good day, BoredGamer. You're right, Erasmus, mate. Hope all is well. Can you tell us anything about the next event? I heard it was hinted to be the Ninetales event. Okay, so some bits I know, or have rumoured, or we can talk about a bit. So we could probably do a video on the Ninetales lockdown and what's rumoured about it. So, and we've talked about some of this rumour before when we were talking about what we thought might have been in XENOTHREAT, because I knew some stuff that CIG were working on, and it didn't all go into XENOTHREAT, so I assume it's actually going into Ninetales lockdown or other events, or maybe some of it's scrapped. We do know that there was going to be an event towards the end of May, Fleet Week, yeah? And that should be a little bit more than we had from Fleet Week last year, because there's dynamic events now they can have as part of that, and they would have refined their processes. There could be some stuff going on at the same time. That will be part of the 3.13 branch. Cool. Fleet Week, for people that don't know, is an event that last year had the UE Navy moving between space stations above planets, showing off the Idris and the Javelin and some of the military ships like the F-7A and the F-8, just flying around, and you could sort of fight them, although that wasn't the intention. But they were supposed to just be like displaying their glory, and there was fireworks, and it's like all these ships are cool. There was also a little display of ships that you could rent, just like in the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, and it was all combat ship orientated. So the thing was that with that as well was that I've lost my train of thought. Why have I lost my train of thought? I'm going to rant again in a minute. I swear to God. So that was sort of the first iteration we had ever of the dynamic events, even that was a lot more static and it wasn't part of the dynamic event system. So that was really the first dynamic event we had, in my opinion, anyway. CIG will say it's the attack on Stanton, but this at least led to the attack on Stanton and the XENOTHREAT stuff. Now, people could still fight those ships, oddly. It wasn't their intention. People would be able to steal them. People would knock them into planets and then fight them. And it was pretty cool. It was the first sort of time we saw the Idris and the Javelin properly in game, that it was sort of combat ready. And they weren't combat ready for players, although you could steal them, sort of they were. But they were combat ready for NPCs. Very cool stuff. And expect a bit more this year. But there's also the Ninetales lockdown. Now, that could happen at the same time, although I suspect that they will be two very different things. Ninetales lockdown. From what we have heard from the rumours, we know that the Ninetales are a pirate group, and one of the things we heard was that it was going to be a similar type event, or at least originally I thought it was XENOTHREAT. There was going to be roving bands of, or roving fleet, or roving set of missions which moves from planet to planet to planet. Yeah? So you'd have, in the same way the UE fleet were over each of the planets by the stations in Fleet Week, you'd have the Ninetales there with a fleet, capital ships potentially, or missions nearby, and they literally go, Microtech locked down, so they're fighting the station there. They make it hard for you to get to that planet, and there's a big fleet battle sort of going on there, and you'd have to dislodge it. And they'll just move around, and they'll keep on moving and coming into different planets, and they're moving from one planet to another. That's the sort of expectation I have with the Ninetales lockdown. So lockdown stations move from station to station to station, move from planet to planet to planet to planet. Yeah, and that would be my expectation. And maybe some other minor missions going on, and some other little bits of event which will contribute to the main event. So expect more refined, more additions to these events from XENOTHREAT as they build towards something that's a bit more additive when it comes to parts of the missions and phases as well. So that's what I'm expecting from that. That is what I have heard, or at least what I've elaborated on from what I've heard. Also, one of the other things with Fleet Week last year is I believe that they wanted to have the fleets actually coming down into atmosphere and doing flybys, and they changed that because it was too hard to do, or there was a problem, there was bugs or something, or they couldn't get AI transitioning properly, question mark. But there was supposed to be more going on with Fleet Week last year than actually happened with it. I know that because when I was talking to a CIG dev, he said to me, "Oh, have you been able to do this yet?" I was like, "No, that's not in the build." He went, "My mistake." And I went, "Huh." So that's the Ninetales stuff. From what we know, take it with a pinch of salt. Take it with a rumor mill. Grind that rumor seasoning. Oh, mate. Also, this is the other thing that was really stressing me out. £10,000 has gone missing from my bank. Moved it from one account to another and it's gone. It's just disappeared. And they said, oh. It's from the same bank as well. It's from one account from the same bank to another account, both in my name, from the same bank. And they were connected on my web app for it. It's just gone after I moved it. And they said, we don't know where that is at the moment, sir. We'll track it down for you. It's like, you don't know where my money is? How can you not know? How can you not know? So yeah, it's been a meltdown day. It's been a meltdown day. And I pity anyone. I can't believe we are in a situation globally at the moment where we've just got no hardware available. No hardware. I was trying to buy... I've got a couple of PCs which I need to set up to send off to people. Yeah. I just want crappy graphics cards so that they can potentially play Fortnite on it. Yeah. Or something just like a 2 gig or a 4 gig. Like a trashy RX card. Like a RX 550. Or a GT... an NVIDIA sort of 1030 or something. They're sold out everywhere. And the places they aren't sold out on, they don't have any stock in, even though they say they do. I can't stand things being said they're in stock in companies, them taking your money and then them not being in stock. Yeah, I can't stand being put on pre-order lists when I'm not expecting to be on a pre-order list. Oh. I can't stand the inflation by the resellers, or the retailers, of the 30 series cards. So look at the 30 series cards. The outlets for them that I buy from have inflated the cards so much, like twice the price on some of them. It's like, this is ridiculous. You're supposed to be... They're getting botted, and you're just trying to make profit. So when I do get hold of a card that I need or want, and I don't need, want, it's like twice the price. And calming questions. Thoughts on desyncs and 30Ks, and when they might be improving and implementing quality of life and server-side improvements from patch to patch. This year, there's a lot of work going into iCache, server optimization, and work towards persistent streaming and server meshing. So you'll get a lot more quality of life and server stability this year. 3.12.1 is pretty good. There is desync. That needs to be solved. There are lots of problems with Star Citizen. It is an alpha for a reason. Once it gets a bit beyond that, it'll be a lot more viable as a mainstream sort of experience. It is not there yet. But yeah, later on this year, you should notice improvements in 3.13 even. Sorry to hear about your wrist, man. Thanks, White Wolf. Dealing with Sucky Corpse and that missing quid. Corporations, not corpse and Star Citizen. Yeah. Hope things pick up for you. Oh, no, it's all good. I just needed a bit of a rant. Like, it's very much third person. It's very much first world problems. And I mean that, like, it's not really a big deal, is it? Like, my head's not fallen off. My legs haven't imploded. It's not life-threatening. Do you know what I mean? I can be pretty chill about it. I'll get it solved. It was just... I'm pretty good with sensory overload. I describe myself as a person who, although I am pretty stressed a lot of the time, I can deal with a lot going on at once. Yeah. It was too much. There was too much going on this morning. Just constantly for a good few hours. And I was like, I properly lost my cool. And I want to just rant for the next hour. I want to rant for the next day, go to bed and have a good night's sleep. I want my wrist to be better. See, I'm starting again. Do you think just having a channel where I ranted would actually probably do a lot better than Star Citizen content? But maybe we can multitask. What ship is that from? The Valkyrie in the background at the moment. So this is the 2019 CitizenCon Microtech demo, which leads on to the Pyro system, or jump points in the Pyro system, although it was just sort of like a fake Pyro for the most part. But some of this sort of like mission content you're seeing here is stuff that we will be seeing in Star Citizen, or very similar. So this is a second part of a mission. You don't necessarily have to have done the first part. Someone needs to have done the first part for the second part to trigger though, and basically get a ID card and disguise uniform, and then break into this research facility, and then steal some data. Have you found the hidden place with awesome views in New Babbage? No, that's the rooftop place in some of the those places in New Babbage. I've seen people's pictures of them though. I've not. There is places I've been told that are in ArcCorp that no one has taken pictures of yet, or displayed that they found them. But there's a lot going on ArcCorp, so. Do you need to have friends to have fun in Star Citizen, or can you solo? You can solo. I would recommend, however, that being in an org, which you don't need to be friends with the people there, but it's sort of friendship. It depends on what org you join. Being part of an org is the best way to experience Star Citizen. And if you don't want to socialise with those people, there are probably orgs for lone wolves that share data and are able to talk and sort of like maybe protect each other, sort of, or give warning. Being in an org is a good idea, in my opinion. You don't have to be. You can totally solo. There are solo things to do. And they will want to make solo gameplay viable for people. And you'll be able to have an influence on a lot of this stuff. Do you plan on doing more lore videos? I have told Zin, specifically, to actively seek out and make lore videos pretty much on her own now. Although we'll make some of them together, and I'll make some as well. So yes, we will be doing lore videos more regularly. Zin likes them. She'll probably be getting at least one out a week, in addition to other content. Zin is ill today as well. Zin had a migraine, and I just went, don't bother working today if you've got a migraine, because you'll be tired, and I'm not in a... I'm just going to rant at you, and your head will implode. So she was ill. Yeah. Oh! Man. Star Citizen, eh? Oh, I love Star Citizen. I genuinely do. It makes me happy. It's a great game. Sometimes it hates me, though. Sometimes Star Citizen, you hate me. So one of the other things is that there's more events coming this year. They've got 8 to 10 events planned this year. And why is it 8 to 10? Well, some stuff I suspect is connected to CitizenCon. CIG have provisionally booked the LA Convention Center in the America on the 7th of August. And I say provisionally because there's a lot of what ifs and buts going on here. Mostly, are COVID restrictions going to be lifted? Is it going to be sensible to do? Is it going to be safe to do? Is there confidence in doing it? So I wouldn't run around and book your plane tickets yet. But I know some people that have booked cancelable hotels in the area already. When armistice zones go away, does that expose cities to, let's say, player-made xenothreats? Potentially. It depends on how CIG want to do it. However, I suspect that in the secure UEE zones, they are going to make those landing zones so secure that it is almost impossible to do anything to attack those cities. They will have defences there, they'll have security forces there. You will get incredibly hard penalties. They'll probably have to sort of like, what can we do? What can we do to stop players attacking cities? Cities have huge amount going on with them. Have them have e-warfare. So if you try and attack a city, they take control of your ship, or they start hacking your ship. They start using ridiculously high-level e-warfare stuff. They're a city. They've got a lot of computers. They've got a lot going on with them. They've probably got some very good defenses. Like that's the way I do it. I go, look, if you get a criminal rating while near a city, and it's of a certain rating, they'll start e-warring you. So not just immediately take control of the ship, but they'll start e-warring you. So you've got like a few seconds to get away. And if you don't get away, they don't control your ship. They turn off the power on your ship. They arrest you. They whatever. Unlimited power. Something like that. Do you know what I mean? So just have in-game things that restrict or allow for different gameplay. That's the way I do it. Have a load of in-game systems that go, well... Because anything you can think of can be handled with an in-game system or some form of tech. Yeah? They can have big guns. They can have e-warfare. They can have loads of stuff going on. What I would expect to have an interesting fight, though, is with homesteads. Homesteads and points of interest. I would expect players to be able to lock those down, to fight them, to interesting battles to actually happen there, while you deal with base defences, while you deal with these homestead defences, the colonialism sort of points of interest that they're building at the moment. I will suspect will be part of that. Like the bunkers and the outposts and stuff that we have at the moment, but with proper defences. And reasons to attack them. The other thing is that I'm looking forward to armistice zones, and it looks like they're going to be lifted quite soon in stations, the FPS armistice zones. So interested to know if it's going to be all landing zones as well, but they're doing it in definitely in space stations soon. So going back to what we were talking about earlier with events, so people are thinking that there's rumours that, or the current line of thinking for some people is that Port Olisar will get blown up in some form of event. So Port Olisar is supposed to be replaced. Cloud Imperium have said Port Olisar is going to be replaced with a new space station tech at some point. But Port Olisar is a lot of love in people's hearts. It was the first original spawn zone for a long, long time. And now it's a legacy asset. It's still in game by Crusader, but it's not a spawn location in the same way that the planets are. It's not an initial spawn location. So, Cloud Imperium said they were going to replace it. That was a while ago, and we're still assuming they are going to replace it. But people are like, oh, it's going to get blown up. And some people say that maybe it's going to get blown up in the Ninetales lockdown. Some people thought that it was going to get blown up during XENOTHREAT. I think I might have thought it was going to get blown up at XENOTHREAT at one point. Things like that. So, yeah, we don't know what's happening with Polisar. I started playing with randoms that have been asking for gunners and stuff. Bought my best friend into the Verst a weekend after talking to him about it on Thursday night. He had a lackluster interest until I told him I had 2 ground vehicles with mining lasers. He immediately was like, what? What is this game again? He spawned at Polisar on my ult and found the observation window and was like, what? No, played 12 hours. Okay, it's cool. I'm glad that your friend is having fun. So Star Citizen is pretty awe-inspiring as a game, looking at it as a tourist. It becomes frustrating once you get past that and you want to play it, for sure. You think we will get a Warbond upgrade to the Ares soon, looking at getting rid of the 300i? I would expect a Warbond upgrade to the Ares, actually, yes, because they plan to have the Ares, Inferno, and Ion later this year, so I would expect a Warbond upgrade, potentially Fleet Week, or at some point. Ares news. So we know that they're working on the guns for the Ares at the moment, the Size 7 weapons for them. We have a release window at the moment for the Ares, Inferno, and Ion for 3.15, which would be end of September / middle of October time. Probably end of September. Did I say end of September, middle of October? But probably more likely end of September if possible. It depends if the CIG want to do a birthday event. Maybe that's what they do actually from now on. So it looks like they're trying to plan CitizenCon on the 7th of August. It also looks, if you remember last year, they had, instead of CitizenCon on the 10th of October, they had a birthday. They might try and do that because it's an excuse to have another event each year. So go, oh, actually, we'll have CitizenCon on the sort of August time, and then we'll have birthday events in October, and then we'll have the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo in November. Yeah. It's like end of November, so I think they want to have an event every couple of months, don't they? More often than a couple of months. Jeez. 8 to 10. Once a month, maybe. Bored, do you think it will be only... Do you think it will only be AB upgrade? I want to keep my Mercury Star on that and get an Ares. What? I apologise for making you yawn. I love you too, Moobot. Thanks for the help. You're the best bot. Beep boop. Does the C2 have a cargo ramp front and back? The C2 and the M2 have a cargo ramp front and back. The A2 has a bomb bay. But I believe it does have a rear ramp still. What else have we got? Sounds like RSI. Well, not the Star Citizen RSI. Yeah, so it could be repetitive strain injury. However, it's probably tendonitis or fibrositis. Probably, because I've had it similar stuff before with my thumb, where it just goes, I'm not going to work anymore, and anything you do with this is going to be painful. When are we getting the 3 million backer account reward? We're not sure if we are going to get one. However, it's possible that Chris Roberts will give a little tiny letter from the chairman, or a little update, and maybe like a shirt or a piece of flair or something, though CIG have not said that. So, don't expect anything, but it's possible. When will we see proper frack cannons? Do you mean flak? They use the term frack, but they also use the term flak when it was to do with, you know, flak cannons that the Battlestar had. So, as far as I'm aware, there is going to be point defense type systems, which are going to be turrets and shotguns and things like that, which AI modules will be able to fire. The AI blades will be able to fire. So you'll be able to have something similar to flak, taking out missiles and torpedoes. It won't be perfectly effective, but it will be quite effective, based on what you've actually chosen loadout-wise and what ship you've got and stuff like that. This is a bad idea moving this on. I'm a dum-dum. What card is it you're looking for? 3080 or a 3090? Realistically, 2 3090s now for me and Zin. And if we don't get them by April, I was told I could upgrade. So I was told I could upgrade my card. I should be able to. I'm on a waiting list, and it's a short one. So hopefully that'll be fine. But if all goes tits up, as it were, we'll grab 3080 Ti's in April, because they're going to be nerfed for crypto mining. With CIG reaffirming their no nudity policy within Star Citizen, how will I be able to use the toilet if I can't see my pee-pee or my poo-poo? You'll just use it. You just use it and you won't need to see that. You might not even be able to look down. It might sense you entirely. But yeah, we know the sort of like, at the moment, your boxer shorts or man knickers. That's what I call them. I'm not sure what Americans call them. They call them boxer shorts as well. Underwear is grafted to your character. Yeah, and they're not going to have nudity in the game. NVIDIA lists the 3060 as being available. So, as far as, well, at least in the UK, the 3060 cards are coming out on Thursday, 25th. So, bear that in mind. And the new crypto cards, 2 of them are being released for the HX series at the end of Q1, or at some point in Q1, and the other 2 are being released at some point in Q2. They haven't given dates as far as I was aware yet. But 3060 at least in the UK. Starting Thursday. They are nerfed for crypto mining. Well, they're nerfed for Ethereum. It might not be all crypto mining. Liched. Lich. I don't know how to say your name. Thanks very much for becoming a BoredGamer citizen, boy. Using that join button to make me the money. And Vstaffbergen. No, Vstaffenberg. Wow. I'm really bad with people's names. I'm dyslexic, so words I've not seen before, typically people's names, I'm always terrible with. And I apologise to everyone that's been afflicted by my terrible namings. Bored. There is an unfound Easter egg in New Babbage. Get your ass out here and stop whining about it. So the New Babbage one is the New Babbage Easter egg, as far as I was, the rooftops. There's more Easter eggs slash sites slash areas that have been built by CIG that they have not seen screenshots of. One of them, as far as I'm aware, or some of them, as far as I'm aware, are on ArcCorp. There's definitely cool stuff at New Babbage which is not very publicly known, but I have seen screenshots of it. There might be more. What methods are the most effective for making money, in your opinion, Star Citizen? Mining with Prospector, mining with the Rock. Cargo is long-winded to do now with the buying and selling issues. I quite like bounty hunting. You've got a reasonably good combat ship. Chaining bounty hunting missions together, especially with the reputation system updates, is pretty cool, because you can make a lot of money pretty quickly, and it's pretty easy. And it's interesting and engaging. Do you expect trading to be addressed next patch? I was hoping that it would be addressed before next patch, but yes, if not before, with 3.13. It's essential, isn't it? Stop whining about the COVID state. I'm sorry. I just wanted to have a nice little wine, Simon. I wanted to have a nice wine. Just you, mate. You were real and the best. I am real. I'm certainly not the best, but I appreciate the fake sentiment. I appreciate the love. I know I'm real. I didn't just go, I didn't think I'd suddenly stopped existing. Can you think of a more fun thing to do in Star Citizen than finding a free fly weak newbie and teaching them how to play the game? Okay, so might see a video on something similar later this week. So the free fly is on until the 25th, 26th, as is the Red Festival currently. So and with that, there's like a couple of ship sales with that, and also it's the last chance to buy the Hercules series of ships, so the C2, M2, and A2 at a lower price. It's about to go up in price, basically. Is it high time we get weapon systems like the Claymore C4 and the Trip laser mines? Yes, I'd love Claymores, and I'd love tripwire lasers and things. They'd be cool. And we're expecting gadgets like fake little holograms, things that make noise and make static and little pings appear, deployable shields, deployable guns now as well, like mounted guns. What's your favourite Star Citizen feature, either upcoming or implemented? Also, visit a doctor, please. I'm fine at the moment. It's more dangerous going to a doctor at the moment because they're slightly overburdened, and because, you know, I'm worried about getting ill. I don't want to leave the house. That'd be terrible. But if it gets worse, I promise to be sensible about it. And I will contact the doctor if I need to. So, upcoming features of Star Citizen, dynamic economy, all of the elements coming together, physicalized components, they're all super important, physicalized inventories, but everything coming together in a dynamic economy so that we can have dynamic missions, we can have a bit of an actual MMO, and there's like reasons to play. That's what I'm up for. Oh, I'm not... When it comes to scalpers, there would have to be an incredibly important reason for me to buy off a scalper. Like, it'd have to be like life or death, or look, you need this ASAP, get it, and then justify it later. This sort of thing. I almost would never do that. I don't think you can complain about the problem while also supporting it. Which Discord channel should we be using? When we're playing Star Citizen at any point, it should be just the Star Citizen channel in my Discord. But when you're asking questions, just whatever medium you want to ask them on. If you buy ships with in-game earned credit, do you keep the ship forever? So if you buy a ship now with in-game credit, you keep the ship until there's a reset. They have not had a reset for quite a while. But there will be a reset at some point, potentially multiple resets, and especially ones like when the game goes from alpha to beta, sort of beta to live, sort of thing, yeah? But eventually there will be a final reset, and everything that you get in-game will stay with you forever, or until you lose it otherwise. Yes, you can get ships in-game with in-game money, and keep those ships, hopefully between patches. Any news about shape charges? They're working on shape charges. There are going to be shape charges. Exactly what we'll use shape charges for, or explosives, or door opening charges for, or whatever. We don't know yet. Probably opening doors, as I kind of alluded to there, blowing up turrets, breaking into access points. Potentially salvage charges being very similar, if not the same thing. But also blowing parts of ships apart further. Or chunks. Toss a coin to your potato, a valley of plenty, a valley of plenty. Nice. I can't sing. I'm not sure if you're aware. If armistice zones eventually go away, does that leave cities exposed to... so we talked about that earlier. Well, if we upgrade to the Ares... If the upgrade to the Ares is incoming, do you believe you will only be able to upgrade to it, or do you think you will be able to buy it War Bundle standalone? I think the Ares will go on sale. So the Ares is going to go on sale again when it goes live in its patch. There'll be a flyable ship sale. I would expect to see it at Fleet Week, almost certainly, as a War Bond upgrade and as a standalone. That would be my expectation. With iCache broken up into separate pieces. So iCache has now been rolled actually into and been subsumed by persistent server persistent streaming and server meshing. So it hasn't actually been changed really, and the pieces of iCache they're working on, or bits leading up to that, or optimizations of the servers are still coming. A lot of that this year, and it's possible that we'll have server meshing by the end of the year, or that does look less likely now. Are we still getting the saving of our location cargo / logout 30k with this patch? I'm not sure if there's any additional persistence updates with 3.13 for location saving or anything like that yet. I would expect less 30ks. I'd love it if there was some form of disaster recovery from 30k beyond being able to... Well, obviously, sometimes you're allowed to just immediately log back in, yeah? If it's not the server that's crashed, you're able to log back in a lot of the time and you'll be exactly where you were. Really, we want that. Even if we log into a different server. It's possible that we'll have it sometime this year. Been waiting on my 3090 since September. Oh, Donna. Sorry, Donna? Don. I apologise. That's, I feel sorry for you. I apologise for ranting so much. What should you pay for a 30k RTX card? So, in the UK, 3060s that are about to come out are like £300 to £350 they're supposed to be, but they're already listed at over 500 in some places on retailers, and they're like the common reseller sites, which is madness. The 3060 Ti I thought was supposed to be £400, but is at the moment going for £800 to £900. The 3070 is sort of in the same boat. It goes for like between, it's supposed to be like 550, I think. It goes for about 700, 800. So in some cases, it goes for less than the 3060 Ti. 3060 Ti is incredibly good at crypto mining and at a very low wattage. So it is a very valuable card for that. And then the 3090s, well, they were supposed to be, well, I don't know how much they're supposed to be. 1200, I think? Have a look. Have a look on the NVIDIA website. What the Founders Editions. 1400. I've seen them go for over 2000. And resellers are selling them for around 1800 to 2000. So, a bit ridiculous in some aspects, in some places. Curry's just sold 3090 for have a look. Curry just sold one for £1,400. A load of windows up with bit of prices for graphics cards in it. Sold one for £1,400 and then immediately raised its price up. Huh. Little weasels. This is just sort of curious. Yeah, so the prices are hugely inflated over what they're supposed to be. Yeah, £800 from an outlet for a 3070, which is supposed to be like 500 quid. It's insane. It's insane. So it's not just the scalpers that are inflating the prices anymore. That's the thing. And you could argue, oh, they're raising the prices to combat the scalpers. Are they? Looks like they're doing that to increase their profit, because there's a lot of stuff that you could do to prevent scalping and botting, and they just don't. It could be stopped at the manufacturer level, and it could be stopped at the retailer level. And it stopped it neither. With NVIDIA coming out and saying they're creating some more crypto cards, and they're nerfing the cards that they go forward for crypto mining to help prevent this. I don't think that's going to work, and I think it's a publicity stunt. So it sort of angered me. Technique, thank you very much. I appreciate the sub. Very grumpy here, very angry today. I'm sorry. What would be the best way to find an org that would be a good fit for you? So I've got a series called Org Spotlight, which you're more than welcome to check out. I look at McDonald's. Thank you very much for the host, such as it was. Appreciated, sir. So I've got a series, Org Spotlight. Check that out. It's got a load of different orgs in. Just shop around. Find some orgs on the sort of org finder on the RSI website. Have a look to see if they've any there that you like. Go into like a big or medium one. I'd suggest. But you don't have to stick with the same org. You can shop around to find the org that has the gameplay style that you want. Some will be very edgy. Some will be very, very kind and reasonable and nice. Some will teach you how to play. Some will want you to be really, really, really good already. Some will take all levels of players. So, like, Synchronizers is great for all levels of players who I play with commonly. But they're not very PvP orientated, and they're, for the most part, it's not entirely true, but there are orgs if you want to focus on PvP or piracy or whatever as well. Do you know when we can purchase the Nomad in-game? I'm expecting it to be in 3.13. Have a maximum security prison, no escape, no merits, no missions, long enough penalty to deter people from doing attacks on secure locations. You could have some sort of in-game system like that. Yeah, you could have a maximum security prison, which you can do stuff in there to help lower your sentence, but you can't just escape from it. Maybe you can't pre-earn merits to deal with it. Thank you very much, Colonel Jacob, or Cole Jacob. Thank you very much, sir. How many planets and galaxies will Star Citizen have out released? We don't know. So there's 100 to 120 systems in the works. Realistic, and there's a studio, a turbulent-headed studio that Star Citizen have recently sort of announced that is planned to have 100 plus people within the next 3 years. And they are working, at least a large part of what they're working on is planets and star systems. They are building the gameplay area, along with some of the other studios as well from CIG. But that's sort of their major focus. So they have the manpower, and they have the tools now to be able to build out relatively rapidly a huge amount of planets going forward now. Planet-wise, average what, like 4 a system, maybe? So maybe 400 planets, 300 to 400 planets? Question mark. Yeah, maybe average of 300 planets? Question mark, as I said. But at launch, I wouldn't expect 100 systems. I'd expect more like 30. Or a dozen. It depends on what they're going for. Yeah, it depends on how quickly the other mechanics come online. You said it was a 3-year contract. So, no. So, they plan to get their studio to over 100 people over the next 3 years. Over the next 2.5 years now, I believe. They're growing their studio at the moment. Should we expect any missions added that might specifically need the Nova? Potentially, but more like, are there going to be ground-based missions where the Nova tank is going to be very useful or almost essential? Yes, there are. Don't know when they're coming. You cannot hack my cutlass. Not yet, I can't. Regardless of the fact it's kind of bugged right now, what are your favourite things to haul in cargo loop to make money? I don't do cargo hauling at the moment. Because there were bugs with buying and selling where it can take ages to buy and sell, and I don't have the patience for it at the moment. And until I've got no more resets and reasons to play, I'm not going to be doing cargo hauling properly. I'll do it occasionally for a video, I'll do it occasionally for a thing, but what else we got? Go. Why isn't the 100i for sale? Expect it in 3.13 or 3.14. Going into one of the shop inventories. We do know there's going to be a new ship shop at some point as well on Horizon when it's out. Horizon. You're looking devilishly handsome. I appreciate the love. A new mouth breather. That's the kind of lie I like. Do you have a bomb-ass mixtape? I'm not sure what that means. I don't listen to the Double Misstep or the Hippity Hops. What are your thoughts on the new roadmap format? Is it readable? Better than the previous one? It's better than the previous one. It's less understandable at the moment with the progress tracker. But that allows me to have more content for my channel when interpreting it and talking about it. But it does reveal more, and therefore for me it is better. Will we be able to pick up our produce after leaving it in the toilet? Oh, are you going to try and be able to eat poo and throw poo? I hope not. I hope not. Is it possible to multi-crew the toilet and coordinate together while pooping and looking at each other? We can do it in real life, so... Should CIG do an online CitizenCon like BlizzCon did? I think that's probably what they'll move into in the future. They want to sell digital tickets. I can feel it in my loins. And they sort of tried to do that a couple of years ago, didn't they? Yeah, I think they'll try and do BlizzCon in the future. That's what CitizenCon will move on to. They are... Okay, there's two things with animals. There is a dedicated team working on animals now, or teams working on flora and fauna in the game. So you will have your animals at some point. Woo! Animals! There's also, one of the stretch goals, and they said they're still going to have it, it was pets. To what form pets will take, we don't know. To what form will missions involving hunting animals, killing animals, can we loot them? Is there reasons to kill them? Can we tame them? Or capture them and smuggle them? We don't know yet. We don't know the gameplay there yet. One of your last videos, you mentioned some still unexplored spots in the verse, such as Benny Henge. What does that mean? Okay, so there are some Easter eggs in the verse. Benny Henge is one of those Easter eggs. It's a location with a load of noodle machines, vending machines, Big Benny's machines, and a guy crushed by them. There's the Christmas location under Microtech around Christmas time, like a little Santa's grotto, Christmas tree grotto area, things like that. So there are these various Easter egg locations in the game, like the Javelin Wreck and things like this as well. And there are some, like, interesting vistas and points of interest that are these Easter eggs, which have yet to be mainstream knowledge of where they are, or made videos about, or publicly photographed. And Cloud Imperium alluded to that the other day. They went, there's places that we haven't seen people go yet that we've put some interesting things at. Okay, well, the planets are massive. There's like rooftop areas and some cool vistas and some cool structure stuff for New Babbage. I've been told there's some cool stuff at ArcCorp on some of the rooftops there, or some of the areas there. What, you want to tame a space whale? They're pretty big. Good luck. CIG opening up the kimono enough at the moment. It seems very artwork heavy. Not much about core systems or professions. So I would like deep dives and more information about the core gameplay loops, medical gameplay, mining, refining, bounty hunting, all the mechanics, salvage, all of that, with the new understandings of what they are and what they have planned for science and exploration and all the subsets of breakdowns of gameplay for it. I would like to see that. I think that's important. I know it will change, but I want to know their current plans for E-War, their current plans for all of these different mechanics and components. And yeah, some people might get upset that they're not exactly the same when they actually put them out. But I think it's important to have those deep dives. It's important for us to be involved in that development now even. So Right, I'm going to go to the toilet quick. Amuse yourselves. Sorry, my hand hurts. Be right back. Oh. God damn you, door. Hi. Thought about doing some YouTube shorts as well at some point, but they'd be sort of like... well, I don't really know how YouTube shorts work, but Spliffing Brit said use YouTube shorts, so I was like, he knows what he's talking about, right? But I could do the Star Citizen Weekly News in a YouTube short. It's going up. I can do this in like under a minute. Is Dan Truffin a cross between a truffle and a muffin? No, he's a human. His name is, though. Do you guys know if it's bounties or the ECN alert that triggers Miles Eckhart now? Good question, because I do both. I think people have said it was ECN alerts, but I do both bounties in his area and the ECN alerts. And he eventually gives you a mission with him pretty quickly. I feel like CIG has gotten to the point that they don't want to show us everything. That is true. That's always been true since Squadron 42's sort of plans. In 2015, it was all about us having the most game. Yes, I agree. It also was them about rescaling and changing and rebuilding from some issues that they had previously. Now they want to release things. So they want to release things and make a game, but they do hide stuff from us, and they don't give us Squadron 42 dev information hardly at all. They do give us a bit in the monthly reports, admittedly, and then little hints to it, and some bits on the progress tracker that goes, oh, we're working on some Squadron 42 things like aquatic vehicles. What? Well, they are. We don't know exactly what. So it's an interesting one. I wish they were more open about the development and went, look, we'll be more open about it, but it's going to spoil some things. I'd rather that than not have the information, personally, but that's just me. I know a lot of people will be like, well, actually, I don't want it spoiled, and I don't trust other people to look at it and not spoil it for me. That's fair enough as well. The internet's a monstrous place, full of monsters. End of 6th, turns out the kid actually couldn't play Star Citizen at all. It was a scam game. Who knew? It was vaporware. He was vaporware! Do you ever find with Star Citizen you play it for a block of time and then kind of get bored? Yes, I do that with everything. But I do that from day to day. And then I go to sleep, wake up, and my brain is reset. Do you find yourself hard to actually motivate to play it? I mean, sometimes, yeah, but I do work for it. So if I've got a particular stressy session where I can't log on, or there's crashes, or I can't do what I want to do, that stresses me out and annoys me. There's only a certain amount of Star Citizen I can play in a day. without going, it hasn't got the progression I want to be able to incentivize me to do the thing. However, I'm looking forward to Theatres of War because I'm much more up for a more action-based session to keep me interested when I'd otherwise be watching anime or reading or going for a run. So I'd like to be able to do Star Citizen as more of a hobby than I do as well at the moment. So I do a few hours of Star Citizen for my own reasons, my own fun a week myself, and I get to join some other organisations like Sync and stuff and some of their things. But a lot of the time I'm just recording or doing work for Star Citizen. So that's a very different thing, and I do that quite a lot. And really I want to be incentivised to do it out of work hours as well as it were. Do you see what I mean? CIG should just hire BoredGamer to give us updates on development. They've got so many content creators like myself now, as in the community, that why would they hire me? I'm still going to do what I'm going to do, aren't I? Seems like and it's better for me to be free and able to speculate on all that stuff. Because you can imagine me speculating on all this sort of stuff and going, oh, I reckon this, I like this, or this is this. I wouldn't better do that if I worked for CIG. Do you know what I mean? It would hamper my ability to actually communicate. That's the sad thing. It's true as well. It is a sad thing. Bear with me 1 second. There's not actually a bear with me. Let's make that clear. So we're like, oh God! It's killing me! That's how I'd be. Let's move this here. Move this here. You do not want to see that person's address. Emails from Star Citizen. No, not from Star Citizen. Games Workshop. Telling me about Marnis Kargar comic. He became Primaris Marine, didn't he? Big old boy now. When will Squadron 42 be out? Truth, I've been waiting for years and nothing yet. We don't know. Not before 2022. They are in the closeout phase. It's been a while. They do need to provide it to us at some point. I mean, a lot of it is getting there now. And I think it's very likely to be a mid-2022 release. But that is just speculation from me. Have you made any reviews on handguns? No, I have not. I haven't done any of the FPS weapons properly as a review. Me and Sin can do that if you think that's good. People want that. When's Skyline being fixed and updated? They are currently working on an update to the map. I believe they're actually rebuilding it. The Star Map and Skyline app. How do you even join an org, as in yours? Is that supported in-game or out-of-game only? Out-of-game only at the moment to join an org from the website. How do you think CIG will balance aim? No, wait, no. How do you think CIG will aim to balance outpost and settlement construction to settlement deconstruction and bombing? Don't know. It's a really good question, though. Like, how effective and how useful are settlements and buildings and being able to build them with the Pioneer and base building? How viable is it to do? What sort of resources does it cost? How do you get rid of the buildings afterwards? Can you destroy them? Can you only move them with the Pioneer or some other factory stuff? Can you steal other people's buildings and bases? There's a huge amount of unanswered questions. We do know that base building is a lot more extensive than originally was planned with just the outposts in the Pioneer. The Pioneer is now a mobile factory, allowing you to do a load more, but you're going to be able to build bases, or at least some semblance of bases, or smaller bases or whatever, without a Pioneer even. So I've quite badly hurt my wrist. What features specifically to running an org would you like to see implemented? So org names, so that you can, when you target someone or highlight someone, you can see what org they're in. Org members appear on as a different color on your UI. I generally want UIs to have filters on them, so for combat and fighting, you can actually have all these different colours of things and only certain things appearing for you. Because I want to know when I'm in a battle, who's in my org, who's my friend, and okay, this person's not a hostile, but they're not a friendly, and who the fuck are they? Things like that. So all that sort of stuff is important. So org colours, and then those are actually some of the most important things to get in ASAP. And then I want permission systems and ship sharing, so that I can use other people's ships, that sort of group hangars, group public spaces, rentable like headquarters or shareable spaces and that sort of stuff with orgs as well, so I can better organise. And that sort of all comes from there, and then you sort of expand into fleet battles and having fleet commanders and things like that, which isn't necessarily org related, but it is organisation of whatever related. Colonel Jacob, feel free to private message me that information. I'd like to see that, my friend. That'd be appreciated. NVIDIA does stupid shit. No big surprise. A new factory sealed 3080, £1,000. That's still pretty high. That's still pretty expensive. 3070, 689. That's expensive, but not awful. Okay. They're still hugely inflated. The original 3080 I bought that I'm still waiting on cost me £670, which is the RRP price. I find it unlikely, but I'm curious what you feel the probability that CIG will add new features and gameplay mechanics to the roadmap before the end of the year. They will. There's going to be various new features and gameplay stuff that is on the progress report that is not in the release view yet. So there's going to be other stuff going on there, I promise you. When are they going to look at how poorly star lanes are implemented? Bad visuals, poor routing, buggy graphics, not working well with... sorry, what? Star lanes? Wait, you mean the quantum travel stuff? Or sorry, I'm a bit confused. At what point will Star Citizen need to get to finally see... Let's try that one again. At what point will Star Citizen need to get to finally silence the majority of people saying that it's a scam? Well, it will never get there. If people think it's a scam game still, when it demonstrably is not, then they're not going to believe anything at any point. When it comes out, they'll be like, yeah... but they had all the money in the world and as much time as they wanted, and it's not exactly what they said. It's still a scam. It's that sort of people. It's fine. It's cool. It does not affect me. Well, it does affect me a little bit, but it doesn't harm me. Someone going, your game's a scam. Okay, no worries. Let's talk about something else. Let's disengage on Star Citizen for it is a game. And I don't need to convince you that it's not a scam if I enjoy playing it and want to play it. Okay. I like playing the scam. I would ask, why do you think that? Because it is playable. The areas where... And it's like... And it genuinely is. It's like... Let's fake a landing on the moon. How do we make that believable? We build a rocket that can actually travel to the moon? Okay. But then we just don't go. But why wouldn't we go? Shh. Okay, yeah. Why not? John Orion, thank you very much for your jumping little game controller and money. I like both of them. I like the little emoji, and I like the money. Thanks. The areas where you can buy new ships with like Alpha UEC, like New Deal, they ever refreshing the ships available there? Yes, they are indeed. They're adding more to those inventories because obviously they got rid of Delamar and stuff like that as well. And that had Teacher's Ship Shop, and those ships will go to other places. Yeah, I remember when we had MSRP for like graphics cards and hardware, and people didn't vastly inflate them. And I wouldn't mind if it was just the scalpers inflating it. But when all the retailers are doing it as well, oh, come on. I do get a, like, oh yes, I've beaten a bot. Oh, and now I can pay the same price as if the bot got it. Thanks. Thanks, Chris Roberts. No, wait. It's not. I don't think it's Chris Roberts' fault. Since Pyro has been redone in lore, what will the next truly Inferno system be? I was looking at... Is Magnus got some lava planets on it? I don't know. I'm not great with Star Citizen lore. I need to learn some. And it's got Drake's headquarters on. Hey, we are getting a crime stat. Is there a way to be sure we're doing a lawful mission? So, typically, missions that are in personal are less likely to be lawful. But also, even in the general tabs, and you can read the mission description, it sort of indicates whether it's lawful or not as well. There are bugs. Basically, there are bugs where you shooting a hostile or you're shooting a bounty or whatever will sometimes give you a crime stat still. I watched an SMB, Super Mac Brothers video yesterday or the day before that said the C2 and the M2 are coming in 3.13. They're coming in a 3.13.x patch, yes. It's a 3.13.x patch. It is not with the initial 3.13 launch. It is likely to be in May as well, I think, with Fleet Week, but we'll have to wait and see. What exactly is Theatres of War? Theatres of War is sort of like a Battlefield-style action module for Star Citizen. So you go into Star Citizen, and in the menu, you'd go to not the persistent universe, but you'd go to electronic access, and you'd go, I want to play this like arcade-style, objective-based 20v20 mode. Bam, and it's Star Citizen crossed with Battlefield. So you've got the scale of Star Citizen. So you've got ships and ground vehicles and moving objectives. As you sort of like do this fighting. So yeah, it's good. It's good love. Is it something that CIG should be focusing all their time and effort into? No, but they're not focusing all their time and effort into it. They are working on it to help the rest of the game as well. And it was supposed to be in our hands last year, but they are going to be putting it to more testing very soon. Will there be some sort of crafting in game? Yes, but to what extent and what types of crafting, we don't know yet. We know there's going to be base building, and we know there's going to be the abilities like build drugs and things like that, and refine certain things. Will we be able to craft ammo and weapons and ships? Don't know yet. We were able to stock the fridge / pantry on our ships. So you will need to bring, or will be able to bring food with you for your crew and yourself. I assume you'll be able to put it on the shelves in and areas in kitchens at some point as well. I appreciate the love. All is good with me and mine at the moment. My mum and dad are doing pretty well. My mum's hurt her knee. It's not like a surgery needing thing or anything. She strained her knee from walking around. I've hurt my arm. I'm more worried about my arm. That's fine. I'm mean to her sometimes. I love my mum. I love my dad. I've got a good family. I'm lucky. I'm aware that I am lucky. What non-combat related profession are you most looking forward to? So, I am mostly looking forward to the non-combat professions anyway. I like all the way it's all brought together through a dynamic economy. Salvage and the Reclaimer doing salvage is probably what I'm most excited about. Tychorus, thank you very much. Tychorus. Thanks very much for the sub. Very much appreciated, sir. Mm. I don't know the name of the ship in the background. It's the Valkyrie. It's the different skin on the Valkyrie dropship. I've heard about Theatres of War, but is it really? I have been playing Star Citizen since 2.3. What? What? Do you think the Pioneer will be able to build hangars underground? I don't know. So landing pads / hangars, it's an interesting one. I want to be able to store ships at bases, for sure. So I suspect Cloud Imperium are trying to work that out right now. Will the wear and tear system affect internals? At this release for 3.13, it is just aesthetic. It is just cosmetic. It is just visual. In the future, obviously the wear system, well, the wear system now affects internals, sort of. But yes, I believe it's going to more affect internals as well. Do you think org development is coming, such as integration within the game? As we talked about earlier, yes. It's an important part of Star Citizen that they are trying to push. Do you believe there will be time where you will be able to join an org in-game? Yes, I do. You should be able to do everything from in-game as well as out of it at some point. When do you believe flight and ground vehicle navigation beyond quantum travel will be in-game? That's a good question. There's a lot they're doing with being able to... they're redoing the star map, they're doing mini-map stuff, they're doing radars, detections, and scanners for FPS ground stuff, as well as ships, and scanning updates, and loads of stuff. And we know that you're going to be able to save locations, you're going to be able to share locations, you're going to be able to navigate better on planets. We don't have an indication of when that's going to be. We know they are working on it now. I would expect some of this year. As a test squadron member, I wonder how Cloud Imperium will balance orgs' size, seeing there isn't a cap right now. Any thoughts? Yeah, it's important they do that. So obviously there's caps on org size in EVE for a reason. You don't want orgs that can be just hugely big, full stop, because they can overwhelm everything. But the way I'd balance it is I'd have great attacks on, if you've got an org over a certain size, well, a percentage of their earnings from missions gets reduced. Or at least when they're on mine and stuff like that. So some form of restrictions. I'm not exactly sure what or how, but I suggest that some form of restrictions is a good idea. How big is the Star Citizen community outside of Twitch? Does Twitch represent a majority of Star Citizen fans? I don't know what you mean by that. How many? There's a lot of... I think they had 750,000 unique players in Star Citizen last year. So once we have the XENOTHREAT infographics that they've got planned, I think this week, you'll probably be able to see a better concurrent players that's accurate now, and how many people will play during events. So we can talk more about that in a video very soon. Is this a look at 3.13? No, so this is actually CitizenCon 2019's gameplay video. And this is one of the missions there that's not in the game yet, but we should actually have at some point, or something similar. And this also looks at pyro and stuff like that as well. Missed earlier questions regarding the Taurus. Apparently there's been screenshots. What chance of all colonies getting updated in this way? I hope you're happy with yourself. I typed for you. No, that's the wrong newsletter. That's the wrong newsletter. This is the right newsletter. So this is the picture we're talking about. This is the internals of the Taurus. Well, expected to be the internals of the Taurus. Okay, so I'm not expecting a constellation overhaul. Cloud Imperium have implied there's not going to be a big constellation overhaul or rework. However, they have said they are looking at some bits of it, especially like the struts at the front. So you might get the struts removed and have rigid glass there instead. But I like the internals here, and it's possible that some of the colonies will get updated in a similar style. Can't DM you. Colonel Jacob, can you message me on Discord or get me at richardboardgamer.co.uk? Is that alright, mate? It's not too much effort. With roadmap talking about boat physics, do you think the 400i, if the 400i exists at some point, if it's not just a rumor, if it was if it's going to be a thing, then yes. So some ships will be ships will have buoyancy. And you will be able to float on things like probably the 800, 890 jump, and things like that. But they're also working on aquatic vehicles as well, as you can see, as part of the Squadron 42 roadmap, or progress tracker. Is there any talks about the Caterpillar? Will we get to see the ship functionalities like undocking the little command ship? So, they have the technology to be able to allow the command module to be able to dock and undock with the Constellation, the Caterpillar now, because of the Constellation P52, P72 undocking. Yeah, cool. Also, we should see the Retaliator getting modularity in 3.13. So that leads on to modularity for other ships as well, like the Caterpillar. So they might start going, these are some of the modules of the Caterpillar that are coming up later this year. Stuff like that. With capital ships fighting and showed proof of concepts they are able to have in-game, what is your prediction of the Orion? Has your theory over the past months changed recently? No, I think it's going to be a ship they do a little bit later because the magnitudes are greater, the sort of like mining for it are much bigger and much more complex than we have in game at the moment because it is proper strip miner, and the Orion is a massive ship. Do you know when the person/VIP transport gameplay loop will be introduced? Probably after they have AI buddies, NPC buddies, and wingmen and stuff in game. So when NPCs start to be able to join you on missions, a few patches after that is when I expect to see the VIP gameplay loops. Need to be able to climb up cargo doors. Okay. If Org bombs a settlement into smithereens, can you recycle the debris for use in building a new settlement or base in your newly seized territory? So, that's what, we don't know what the base gameplay is going to be like when it regards to removing and repurposing. Is it better to take it over? Can you blow it up? How do you dislodge it? There's loads of unanswered questions at the moment. Do you know who runs the Amateur Esports? It's the Daymar Rally guys. It's Corsair, isn't it? They hosted the Daymar Rally. Was a fun event. I assume it's Corsair that owns it. There. Any idea why CitizenCon 2019 micro demo is more advanced than we've got playing right now? It's not entirely. This mission is a good mission, though. Obviously, it's just a demo, though, so it's on the LAN servers, and they were able to show off in a demo environment, a staged, scripted environment, this gameplay of sneaking in, doing stealing some data, and then using a jump point to get to Pyro. Odd question. Do you think the next patch they'll bring trading back? We need the ability to sell things and buy things without it bugging out and without the stocks of stuff going entirely out of stock. So one of the things they're actually doing is with cargo decks, there is going to be waiting lists and time associated with loading and unloading cargo. So I actually think that when we have that in, which is coming really soon, that will actually solve our problems, because we go bam, 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 buy, order, sell, order, do. That's all done. Bam. Oh, my ship will be unavailable for 10 minutes while they remove the cargo from it. Cool. Buy this cargo afterwards as well. 10 more minutes before they fully load that cargo. Great. What do you think the changes to the Stanton asteroids will be, size, shape, and composition-wise? So it's more to have a variety in the way asteroids look, rather than a few assets that are just tilted and moved around. So it will be making asteroids lighter weight, making asteroids more potentially be part of gameplay, and giving lots of variance to those asteroids without destroying your PC. I'm looking forward to the updates they're doing with the Aaron Halo. Pyro is going to have different asteroids as well, with the more angular, sharper asteroids. Anyone know when 3.13 will release? So the targeted release date for 3.13 is end of March for live. Expect to see it go to Ivacati moving into the first or second week of March, so first half of March, very likely, and then wider PTU. Sort of mid-March would be my expectation. Sort of first wave. We'll have to wait and see, though. That's it for a sort of rough roundup of that. Right. Do we have any more questions today? Because in a minute I'm going to have a bit of a rant. And then we'll dash off after the rant. Some more questions. Have a rant. Answer any more errant questions. Hopefully Zin is feeling better. Because she was just had a she was just knocked out, sort of thing. It's DC that told me. So hope she is feeling better. Okay. So, yeah, looking forward to Theatres of War potentially being tested again soon. Looking forward to... There's a lot of stuff going on potentially with 3.13 and 3.13 branch. Obviously, we've got Fleet Week. We've got potential Nine Tails Lockdown. Load of new gameplay coming in 3.13. And potentially some more stuff to be added. Now, each of the features in 3.13 that we've talked about previously, there's only a 70% chance of them being in that patch at the moment. So some of them are going to drop out. And get pushed back. But hopefully we should see some more subsumed into it as well. And we'll know more pretty soon. Do you know what is with Sandy Gardner and Ben? Why do they leave the spotlight? So Ben has a problem with his eyes, and he was going blind, or some issue with his eyes, so he had to basically work from home. He still works on Jump Point. He's still part of the Star Citizen project. Sandy Gardner is a member of CIG's Cloud Imperium's board. And she still participates with the project. I'm not sure if she's VP of marketing anymore. They've got a full-on marketing department, which they've been building up for a while. I think Sandy's having less input in Star Citizen from the day-to-day now. Significantly less. I suspect she's pursuing her actressing sort of interests, but don't know that for sure. In your opinion, do you think any of the current flyable ships should have any manned turret swapped for a remote turret? It's possible that AI blades or some turrets in some ships might get swapped for that sort of thing. Maybe. How will you level in this game? There is no leveling per se. Percy. There's no Percy leveling. You are... your skill is based on how good you are how good you understand all the mechanics and how good, what gear and loot you've got. The two things really that will allow you to do different things are reputation, which will be built for every individual faction and potentially every NPC, but more specifically the mission givers, people of interest, and individual factions and organisations, and that will have to build. And if you kill a load of pirates, your reputation with them will drop, but it might rise with someone else and that sort of stuff. So big reputation system that gives you access to different things, access to different missions and perks, or negatives based on what you're doing. That's something that you would need to grind or take a while to get up to. So you could see that as experience in some ways, because it might give you access to more missions. And the other thing is assets. So how much money do you have? Well, it's not really how much money you have, that's sort of irrelevant. What assets do you have? What ships do you have? What gear do you have? What loot do you have? That, you can't be a medic unless you've got some form of medical tool. Do you see? Do you think the Valkyrie needs updating? I mean, only as updating as all the other ships need, with physicalized components, and all the other things that they need to get in the core gameplay loops, and then balance. Do you think we'll have barista gameplay at some point? I actually suspect you will start to see coffee bars and baristas at the coffee bars making coffees in Star Citizen at some point. Will reputation be introduced to other gameplay loops like delivery and investigation? Yes. It will be organisation and mission giver based for the most part. Doesn't matter for what gameplay loop. You might even have ratings for players as well that you could potentially put in there for if you've done service beacons and that sort of thing. How are you, Bored? What's the gameplay footage behind you? CitizenCon 2019's footage. I was talking about it a bit today. Any new knees on the Kraken? Krakens don't have knees. They've got tentacles. No new news on the Kraken. No updates. No updates for a while on the Kraken. Will reputation be introduced? We literally just talked about that. Bam. What's Fleet Week? So Fleet Week is a ship sale event and in-game event where at the end of May you can, it will be at a location, you can go there to basically see an expo hall, rent a load of different ships, try them out for free. Typically there'll be a free fly going on then as well, so people can try the game for free, and there should be some cool stuff happening in the verse as well. Like last year we had the UE Navy flying around with fireworks. This year should be they should be able to do a lot more if they wanted to. But loads of ships will also be on sale on the website as well. It's a big sales event for Star Citizen and hype event. What is your favourite concept ship? Banner Merchantman at the moment. Polaris, Banner Merchantman, probably Banner Merchantman at the moment. Any news on the Banner Merchantman Orion? No. We know that the Banner Merchantman's got a bit bigger. We know it's likely that the Polaris will be done before the Banner Merchantman. I love your face too, Billy Bob. Any guesses what the other dynamic events will be? Nine Tails Lockdown. My expectation of that is a pirate org literally moving around, locking down zones of space and areas of space with fleet battles there. So around Microtech and the station there and nearby missions, they'll sort of just be there causing trouble and pulling you out of Quantum and fighting you, and a larger fleet holding like a station, stuff like that. That's my expectation there. I got that email from you, buddy. Much appreciated, Jacob. There's loads of events. So Fleet Week's an event. Nine Tails Lockdown's an event. Intergalactic Aerospace Expo's an event. You've got loads of stuff like that, and others. Grinding credits for the Andromeda. Pull the trigger or save it for Mercury Star Run next month. You say pull the trigger. Do you mean with credits? Or do you mean buying it with real money? I wouldn't buy a ship with real money unless you're in love with it. That's just my opinion. Do you think some of the unreliability we experience from quantum drives is because component efficiency and degradation is on the back end and not the other way around? Not in any other way that we can see. What? So there are server issues and general degradation because the server code and the network code and stuff is buggy and unoptimized, and they are, rather than fixing it properly, they're building a new system for server meshing and iCache, which means they don't want to be spending time fixing the older system, though they do spend a bit of time doing that. That's my understanding of it. So there are some like more legacy bugs which will be solved, which they don't want to go because they need to rewrite everything to solve it or overhaul some of it. Do you think they'll fix cargo for the C2 3.13? Well, the C2 and the M2 won't be in 3.13 initial or 3.13.0. It'll be in 3.13.x, so it's not the initial patch, but it will be coming in the cycle. I'm expecting in the initial 3.13 patch, though, for them to have fixed and rebalanced the economy, so that you'll be able to do cargo runs properly. What about the merchantman should like it? What? I like the idea of doing trading in the verse, but it isn't just straight up cargo hauling. And the Burning Merchantman has got shops on it. It's got the ability to haul. It's got the ability to be a bit of a floating bazaar, fly to planets, act as a shop, sell some stuff. It's cool. I like the idea of it. Very cool ship. Anything new about subcomponents? Nothing new about subcomponents. We do know that they've been working on them a while ago, and they had a load of the different, especially the larger components, working with subcomponents. So. How much larger is the Endeavour going to be? I do expect it to grow somewhat. Don't know how much bigger. It's going to be a while before we have the science mechanics in game, though. And it's going to be a while before I have the Endeavour in game. I suspect it's quite far out. It's funny seeing gameplay in the snow. Games are supposed to be about escapism. I take it, Red Ensign, that you are snowed in or in a snowy country. Do you think we will be eventually getting jukebox style mechanics or for medium and large ships? So we've had jukeboxes before in the game, and they sort of got rid of them. There's going to be tannoy systems. There's going to be ways of broadcasting stuff. I'm not sure to what extent you'll be able to broadcast music across the ship. Will it become possible to hire NPCs to work on a ship? Yes, you'll be able to hire NPC crews. In the shorter term, they're working on AI modules, which are slightly different, AI blades, which you'll be able to automate some of the functionality of your ship and even turrets. So some turrets will be able to plug an AI module in them. They'll fight. Is there a planet or system from the lore/star map that you want to live in and experience? In the shorter term, it is Orison, the Crusader landing zone that they're building. I don't think I'm the best with imagination, so I'm just sort of waiting on seeing what happens. What are those ding sounds in the stream? They're emails. What do you think the first iteration of homesteads will be? Do you think they will sell land claims for real money? They have sold previously land claims for real money, and they realised that was a mistake. Land claims are going to be available in game at not particularly expensive prices, as far as I'm aware, and in places where there's no UE control, like Pyro, you're not going to need land claim at all. So sort of bear that in mind. They were in 2018 working towards having the legal and law aspect of land claims working and in game, and obviously they not canned it, but they delayed it. So sort of again, bear that in mind. So they're working on the colonialism outposts at the moment. So a new set of homesteads for the game for NPCs to sort of live at, and that is working towards player bases and that sort of thing as well. Sort of a bit, because they need to do that first anyway, and they need more assets than that. But they are working out player bases. They're working out a building view for player bases. They're working out exactly how that's going to work. The Pioneer has been made into a mobile factory now that's going to allow for much more expansive bases, and you're going to be able to build bases without the Pioneer. But the homesteads they're building for NPCs aren't necessarily player bases, and they're certainly not player bases in the first iteration. When Horizon is introduced, do you think they will introduce demand elements to trade? Huh? I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Have they spoken how they plan to handle 2 people building in the same place? Will it be server specific? So it should be cross-server, because otherwise you can't log into the same person if they've got land claim there. Do you know what I mean? So there needs to be a system for it. So in the short term, it might be server-based. Very short term when they're testing it, but it needs to be everyone on the same server eventually, really, doesn't it? On the same mega server, and that's what server meshing is all about. How excited are you for Titan suits? So they are probably the vehicle I want most in game. Well, you know, non-ship related cool thing. Do you think they will employ a group of games masters who will interact with and react to players in their actions in game? Yes, I do. I think they'll have games masters, and I also think the games masters will do some narrative random stuff and activate and turn off dynamic events and things like that as well. But you'll have a group of games masters almost certainly. Do you think those crew NPCs can also be robots and androids? They've sort of shied away from that. Although Addison is now the Imperator and does want to work on AI and stuff like that, robots and androids in Star Citizen's lore have never worked properly, and they sort of looks like they don't want to have them in that game. You can see future patches on my shiny head. I've got a crystal ball. I've been too tired to use these dumb things. I've got a crystal ball for working out stuff for Star Citizen. We've got a red telephone for working out what's going on in Star Citizen. It's not that from Saurus, but also I was like, that's a good idea. And I've got a magic 8 ball as well over there. We'll use these gags for my stream and more in the future, like I'd be asked to do. Right. Will the Talon be purchasable in game in 3. I'm expecting the Talon to be purchasable and the Shrike in 3.13, but it's not a guarantee. So all the ships that currently aren't available, like the Mercury Star Runner, the Talon, the Shrike, and the 100 Eyes, or the 100 series, I would expect them to be available in 3.13. However, it's possible, like the Mercury Star Runner, they are wanting to put it in at Horizon, because obviously that's Crusader and it's the same manufacturer, so maybe they want to put it there. It's possible. I'm hoping they have it in 3.13 though. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it will just be rentable until then in some places, which would be fair enough. When do you expect to see more interactivity with ships being introduced, i.e. armor and food storage? They are building towards that this year. Physicalized inventories and shelving and use of storage boxes and that sort of stuff is being worked in this year, so you'll see some of that this year. Is server meshing and iCache coming this year? So it's possible that we'd have server meshing by the end of the year. However, it's much more unlikely now, but it's possible still. They are building towards iCache, server meshing, and persistent streaming this year, and you'll have some of those elements coming online. Does the C2 have a docking collar? I do not believe so. Any fix for 1920 by 1200 resolution? I don't know. I don't know there was a problem with it. Right. I'm going to find someone else to stream, and then I'm going to dash off. I'm hungry. I've yet to eat today because I've been so stressed. Sorry that I was ranting earlier, or maybe I'm not. Oh! God damn! People stealing my graphics cards and my hardwares. I've been waiting to build my new PC since October last year. Can you... I bought when components were in stock. Oh! Oh, I'm angry. Angry at people's incompetence earlier, and my own incompetence. But there's loads of companies that have taken my money. So I then say, oh, you did say it is in stock, but we don't have it in stock. There's so many of them. It's like, Have you updated your site? Oh, yeah, it was a bug. I mean, a couple of them said it was bugs on their site. So, what? Oof. Oh! I'm okay. I'm okay. Why haven't we seen anything about Squadron 42? So, they are... Squadron 42 updates are on the progress tracker on the roadmap, so you can see that. And they have a monthly report about Squadron 42 every month. So they do update us, just not very much. And in fact, they update us far too little. The reason they've said that they're not giving us much in the way of Squadron 42 updates, even though they originally said they were going to, is because they are near a stage, but not quite there yet, where they're going to want to do a traditional marketing campaign for Squadron 42, and when they start doing that, they will also want to hype up the game by having these development updates where they show certain bits of the game off, but not too much, and they don't want them to start doing that now, and the hype to die before the game's released. That is basically what they've said. I do not think that's a justifiable reason, but that's what they've said. Explanation. Titanium is used to build ships, so you need a reason to buy titanium to sell at Orson for the production of ships. At some point, yes, factory nodes will make use of particular resources, and that will affect the prices in-game. You have a dynamic economy, which is not player-run, but it is player-affected, is simulated, is the quanta dynamic universe, quantum simulation, whatever they call it. Right. Do we have any other quickie questions? I haven't been keeping track, but do we know when that Battlefield type mode's coming out? Expect to see it go back into testing. Theatres of War is what you're talking about. Very soon, but it'll probably be either Carty. They've been working on it. War. They've been doing very regular office gameplay sessions of it as well. There's remote office gameplay sessions now, so you know the network code's probably a bit better. The Mecha StarEngine is going to get another entry, right? So someone said about it having a ladder hatch or something that they were working on. I don't have a source for that, but I seem to remember that. Homeset's still looking to be a thing in Q3. So it's more specifically, let me actually read you the feature. Is it locations? So the homestead you're talking about is the small home outpost colonialism feature, which is a small home for AI to live and shelter in. They consist of a central hub and a few optional internal and exterior modules. They provide the basic necessities to support a group of people for an indefinite amount of time. So basically, these are points of interest that are expanding out in the game. They are not player bases at this stage. And may not be player bases, but they are moving towards player bases with that. How many gigabytes would this update be? I don't know. Several? Do you think we'll be able to watch TV in-game at some point? As long as there's not a legal issue with that, yeah, I think you'll be able to YouTube and watch stuff in-game. I mean, you're certainly going to have... the render-to-texture stuff will allow you to have potentially the camera from the Reliant Mako filming and streaming data across the verse and things like that. So let's see how they do and what they do. See how do and what do. Damn those scalpers! Thank you for everything you do to support the community for this epic game and environment. It's really appreciated. I appreciate people watching me and sharing me and donating and subscribing and becoming BoredGamer members with the join button below, or subscribing and the Patreons or whatever. It's all genuinely appreciated. Thank you so much. Any new info on the Orion? Nope. Other than it's massive. They are aware of lots of the super glitches. Yes, yes, yes. Any idea when we'll get the C2? It's going to be 3.13.x. That's what as far as I'm aware. So a 3.13 branch at some point between end of March, well, between realistically April and end of June, or between April and June, more likely. Wait, what's that ring? So this is a jump point that takes you from Stanton to Pyro System. This is the demo from CitizenCon 2019. Something they're working on at the moment, the Pyro System and jump points. If a dog can gigabyte, what can a puppy do? Mega nibble. I hope you get that joke. Is there a supercarrier that orcs could use? So, I suspect eventually you'll be able to get Bengals, which are the big carriers. Obviously, there's Carracks. There's going to be in game. Things like that. Right. I'm going. I love you. I love you all. In, you know, a platonic way. Unless you're, like, really, really beautiful. In which case, still in a platonic way, because it's over the internet. Come on. Social distancing. Come on, guys. I am going to host give Space Tomato some love. Do you want the Dark Claw or Space Tomato? Someone say in chat. And I'll go and host them. But yeah, thank you so much. We'll be streaming again on Friday, most likely. I'm planning to potentially stream either on the weekend or during the week as well for some gameplay, because me and Sin want to play some stuff. Dark Claw. We're going to go restream Dark Claw. We're going to not restream him. What we're doing. / raid bam. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. It's very much appreciated. I love you loads. I'll be getting a video up at some point today. Yeah, peace out. Love everyone and other stuff. It's been a stressful day. Oh, god damn, I'm angry. My wrist hurts.